My name is Malin Martin. I'm a district small business liaison. And for those who are unfamiliar, Caltrans District 11 covers San Diego and Imperial counties. Okay, next slide. A few housekeeping items for those who are not familiar with WebEx. As you all may have noticed, all participants are muted upon entry and videos are turned off. This is going to allow everyone's full attention to be directed to the presenter and minimize distractions, but this does not mean that we don't want to hear from you. So with the number of attendees participating today, we want to make sure we manage everyone's comments and or questions effectively, but we also want to finish our workshop on time. So you can communicate with us by using the chat feature to write your comments and questions. As we go along throughout today's presentation, I'm going to answer as many questions as I can in the chat. And then for any questions that are a little bit more specialized and need to be answered by the presenter, there will be time for maybe one or two questions directly after their presentation before we move on to the next agenda item. Okay, you can also use the feedback feature by clicking on the smiley face at the bottom of your screen. Um, there's an array of reactions that you can share just to keep engaged with us. If your chat appears collapsed, click on the arrow on the right side of your screen to open the field, and you can, again, also use the feedback question. All of your questions are going to be in the chat. Again, our presenters will answer some of them, but they will come directly from the chat. So make sure you're asking your questions in the chat. You'll have contact information and the slides after this presentation as well. So any of your questions that don't get answered, you can follow up with our presenters. Okay, next slide. Here is a look at this morning's agenda. We'll be hearing from Maria Ibarra shortly to go over Caltrans and Procurement Fair overview. And then we'll have some presentations from the Small Business Development Center, Apex Accelerator, the California Department of General Services, the Caltrans Division of Procurement and Contracts, the Caltrans Office of Civil Rights, and me again at the very end. You might have been sick of my voice by then, but I'll be discussing the District 11 Small Business Program. And with that, I will pass it off to our Business Services Manager, Maria Ibarra, to provide a bit more information about Caltrans and our upcoming Procurement and Resource Fair.
Thank you, Malin. Okay, I think we're all set. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Maria Ibarra. I am the Small Business Manager here at Caltrans District 11. And for those that are not familiar with Caltrans, wanted to give you a little bit of a background. Caltrans is a state agency that plans, designs, builds, maintains, and operates California's transportation system. We are responsible for over 50,000 highway lane miles and 12,000 bridges throughout California. Alvin, next slide, please. Okay, Caltrans has 12 districts. Here at District 11, specifically, we oversee, as Malin mentioned, the San Diego and Imperial counties, stretching from Pacific Ocean to Arizona and the Mexico border to Orange and Riverside counties. We have about 1,300 employees. Sorry, Alvin, thank you. We have about 1,300 employees and oversee roughly around 1,100 center mile lane miles and 4,400 lane miles. There are 25 cities, 20 tribal nations, 7 border crossings, 3.4 million people. And so that's what we house here at our district. Next slide, please. Thank you. So here at Caltrans, our core 4 principles are safety, equity, prosperity, and climate action. District 11 Small Business Team focuses most of our time and resources helping Caltrans in the equity and prosperity areas. Next slide. This is a slide for I want to make sure that we know that Caltrans ensures that no person in the state of California is excluded from participation in, denied the benefits of, or otherwise subjected to discrimination in Caltrans programs, policies, procedures, activities, and services on the grounds of race, color, national origin, sex, age, or disability. So for more information on our Title VI, please visit the link listed on the slide or contact title.vi at dot.ca.gov for any questions regarding the non-discrimination statement or Title VI disclaimer that we have. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. All right. Well, the primary intention of today's workshop is to prepare you, the vendor, the firm, individual, anyone that will be attending our fair for our 22nd Annual Procurement and Resource Fair. In this workshop, you will receive tools and resources you may need to fulfill initial requirements for doing business with Caltrans or any other state agencies or public agencies. If you have not done so already, on this slide right here is the information on the fair. We'd like to encourage you to register for the Procurement and Resource Fair using either the link or the QR code provided here. The event is hosted here at our campus, District 11 Courtyard. If you've never been, um, it'll be outdoors, obviously. Once you're inside the campus, attendees will be able to connect with our exhibitors. We'll have tables throughout the courtyard. These year's exhibitors include our District 11 purchasers from the divisions of administration, maintenance, corridors, engineering, design, environmental, traffic operations, construction, planning and local assistance, legal, and land surveys. In addition to our district purchasers, the fair will feature exhibitors from our headquarters programs, such as our Construction Mentor Protege program, our Office of Civil Rights folks are going to be here as well, and our IT procurement. That's the huge thing this year for us. You will also have a chance to meet exhibitors from other public or government agencies and learn about their upcoming opportunities for contracts and procurement. And lastly, the fair will feature large prime contractors that frequently do business with Caltrans in the construction and engineering fields. So this event provides a key opportunity for you, the small business, to network with our prime contractors for subcontract opportunities on our projects. Pitch yourself to your District 11 purchasers as someone they should solicit quotes from, and learn other about opportunities to do business with other public agencies. Next slide, please, Alvin. Thank you. So our location, our District 11 courtyard is conveniently located next to the Old Town Transit Center. Attendees are encouraged to use public transportation. Parking is limited, so there will be parking on site. If you could please carpool with your colleagues, consider taking the trolley from a park and ride. It's very central, so it's public transportation. It's across the street. The hub is across the street, so please consider those other avenues. After this workshop, our team will email you a document with several nearby parking options in the Old Town area as well. If there's any overflow from our parking in our facilities, you may use the Old Town area for parking. Next slide, please. Thank you. And now that you know what to expect during our procurement fair, I'd like to introduce Cheryl Brown from Small Business Development Center, or SBDC, to talk to you about how to pitch yourself to the buyers once you get there. Welcome, Cheryl.
Hi, good morning, and welcome everybody. So the Caltrans Fair is one of the largest fairs, and there's so many different opportunities. But one of the things that you really need to know is, how do you introduce yourself to a buyer or to a prime contractor? And that's what this is all about. And so next slide, please. Oh, keep on going. And go ahead and click the button, because I have, there we go. So no matter what it is, no matter like what agency, what prime, there is only one way to generate revenue, literally only one, and that is through marketing. There is no other way. And government contracting is really no different. There's a little asterisk there. But you also have to follow the rules. So that's the big difference between the private and the public sector. But bottom line is, if you want to increase your revenue, you need to increase your marketing activities, because there's no other way to generate revenue without marketing. Next slide, please. So right now, all of the people that you're going to meet at the Prepare for the Fair, which is going to be a bunch, right now they cannot buy from you. And the only reason why they can't buy from you is that they don't even know you exist. And that is the first hurdle to overcome. They don't even know you exist. Now, once they know you exist, they won't buy from you because they don't trust you. And with government contracting, prime contractors, the best way to generate trust and rapport is by following up, by responding, by being engaging. See, right now, you're nobody from nowhere. And you need to let them know that you are someone from somewhere. And so the way we do that is through our marketing. And there's 3 steps to marketing, or 3 phases to marketing. Next slide, please. Stage 1. This is the introduction stage. This is where we go from name recognition. So this, at the Prepare for the Fair, this is what you're doing. This is your first intro. This is getting your name recognized. Now, a little tip. You need to follow up, and you need to follow up regularly. When you send your emails, make sure, this is a tip, make sure that your company name is always the first thing in the subject line. Because even if they don't open your email, which honestly they probably won't, at least the first few times, at least they're seeing your name. And that is the first stage of marketing and getting over the name recognition. So that introduction, it's all about name recognition. Now, excuse me, phase 2, we move into open dialogue, building trust. This is how you create your responsiveness. So asking open-ended questions, what is your department currently doing in the areas of procuring or outsourcing, and fill in your blank, whatever that service is. This is the first thing you need to find out is, does that department, does that person even procure your product or service? Now, I know you want to say, yes, they should, they could, they would, but I'm going to tell you something. Woulda, coulda, shoulda does not pay the mortgage. Focus in on those agencies, those prime contractors, those entities that do procure and outsource your product or service. That's the first step of developing rapport. Next, you want to find out, what are your minimum requirements to be eligible to do business with Caltrans District 11? Every agency, every prime is going to have some minimum requirements. And with government contracting, those minimums are set in stone. If they require that you be operational for 5 years, and at the time of the opportunity, you've been operational for 4 years, 11 months, guess what? You don't meet the minimum requirements. And no matter how great your proposal is, no matter how great your pricing is, because you can't meet those minimums, they can't even consider you. So you want to find out, what are the minimum requirements. You're going to notice here, I have not mentioned about, hey, do you have any projects coming up? Or, hey, we do this. What are you buying? What do you have coming up in the next 6 months? No. See, there's a big difference between marketing and sales. And so you control marketing. So you have full control of the first 2 phases, name recognition, open dialogue. Your customer controls the sale. And so chances are 95% of the people that you speak to at the fair are not in need of your service right that moment. Your job is to remain front of mind for when there is a need, they remember you. So look at it this way, kind of like you're driving down the freeway. There's 2 roads and they run parallel. On the freeway, you're driving down on Marketing Freeway. your buyer, your customer, is driving down Sales Freeway, and they run parallel with each other. As you're driving down, you can never drive on Sales Freeway. It's a toll road. It's exclusive only to special toll privileges, so to speak. So as you're driving down the marketing freeway and you're getting name recognition, open dialogue, you're learning more about your customer, you're learning more about their needs, what their minimum requirements are, what their pain points are. All of this you're doing, you're asking open-ended questions. You're never, ever, ever, ever asking for projects or bids or whatnot. Now, eventually, if you do this correctly, your customer is going to merge from Sales Freeway to Marketing Freeway. And they're going to be driving along with you. And you're going to know the minute that this happens, because then they start asking you questions. Now we are starting to get towards a transaction, but not a moment too soon. Next slide, please. I want to keep this super simple. There's going to be a lot of people there. And you want to be the person that is short, sweet, to the point. You want to make that introduction. You want to make a great first impression. But the more importantly is you want to follow up. I'm sure you'll see it. You'll go to events and there's a person that's speaking to the panelist or to the person at the table, and they're going on and on and on and on. You don't want to monopolize, because there's a lot of people and all of you are there to do the same thing. And that is introduce yourself to these prospective buyers. So your name, your company name, what do you do? Now make sure it's not, well, what do you need? Because we can do that. No. They don't like that. What specifically do you do? If you're like a supplier and maybe you supply a number of different products, stick with like your core, like your sweet spot. Reference a past project or something that would resonate with them. And then ask an open-ended question. What is your department currently doing in the areas of procuring or outsourcing your product or service? So it sounds very simple, and it is. So, my name is Cheryl Brown. I'm with the San Diego and Imperial Valley SBDC Network. We provide no-cost support to the small business community, specifically in the areas of procurement. In the last several years, we worked with over 5,000 small businesses, resulting in over $1 billion in contracts awarded to the small businesses. What is Caltrans District 11 currently doing in the areas of outsourcing or procuring their small business support services? That's it. And now you listen. Next slide, please. Your homework. This is what I want you to do. I want you to write this down. I want you to write down your pitch. I want you to write down those little things. And once you've written it down, I want you to memorize it till you know it like the back of your hand. Memorize it, memorize it, memorize it. Then what I want you to do, I want you to set up your phone, put on record, leave the room, and then come back in, approach the camera as if that is the person you're speaking to. Gestures, hand gestures, pretend like you're going to shake their hand. And I want you then to review in that video. And once you can review the video without cringing, because it can be cringy, you've done it. Next slide, please. Practice, 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 practice. Practice makes perfect. We've all heard it. We all know the saying. This is so true when it comes to introducing yourself. And this information, these tips can be utilized at any expo, any event, any situation. And so some of the things to remember as well when you are getting ready to do this is you've got verbal communication, and then you've got nonverbal. So that's why watching the video is really helpful. You want to see what do you look like when you're approaching a buyer? Are you approaching them very, very aggressively? Are you moping? Are you angry? You know, a lot of things, you know, your eyes will speak, like all of these different things. So again, practice, practice, practice. Use a video recording. When you can rewatch that video recording without cringing, you've nailed it. Next slide, please. Of course, of course, of course. My colleague, Mike Sabilico from Apex, is going to talk to you a little bit more about what you should bring, what leave behind you should bring. So as you're doing your pitch, you're going to have this capability statement, and you are going to be the superstar to those agencies because you know exactly what they're looking for, exactly what to say, and know that you're going to follow up. And we are more than happy to help you prepare that, review that, whatever we can do to support you. All of our services, like our Apex Accelerator services, are at no cost to you. Whether it be for government contracting, access to capital, increasing your bonding, marketing, business planning, technology innovation, like everything under the sun at no cost to you. And I know that our contact information is going to be shared with you all. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I can't wait to see you at the fair. Questions?
Hi, Cheryl.
Yes.
You got some good comments in the chat. Some people were talking about how much you've helped them in their own business development journey. So thank you so much for what you do for the community. We don't have any specific questions in the chat. Oh, what SBDC stands for again, and what's the website?
Small Business Development Center. And I will put the website into the chat because it's, you know, it's all about acronyms, right? So www.sdivsbdc.org. And when you go to that website, it's super easy. You can see our workshops and our live events. You can also see our on-demand library, but there's also a button where you can click and says get an advisor. And you can schedule your intake advisor within minutes, and your intake advisor will have intake appointment typically happens within 24 to 48 hours depending on your availability, but you'll be able to schedule right online, super quick, super easy, and then you'll be in our system and you will all have all access to all of the resources. And yes, Greg, there is an SBDC in your area as well. So SBDCs are nationwide, so all you have to do is, you know, Google search, you know, find my SBDC. It's going to take you to another web page. You put in your zip code, and it'll point you to the SBDC that is local to you. Now, I highly recommend that you engage with your local SBDCs, but not all of the SBDCs have a procurement program, so they may connect you with their local Apex accelerators. But we've had a long-term relationship with Caltrans. I believe this is our 15th year participating in the fair. So if for some reason you're not able to get the support you need locally, definitely reach out to us and we'll do whatever we can to support you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning, Cheryl. And as you mentioned, we will be transitioning into Mike Sabellico, presenting on behalf of Apex Accelerator. So welcome, Mike.
Thank you. Can you hear me now, Malin?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Cheryl. Very informative, as always. So Cheryl started doing this work when she was 3. So let's see. My name is Mike Sabellico, and I am the Regional Director for the San Diego, Orange, and Imperial Apex Accelerator. And I've got about 10 minutes here, so I'm going to try to keep you on track and go through this quick slideshow. I am going to talk about capability statements a bit. So that was what Cheryl was referring to. So without further ado, next slide. Okay, our mission is to help all these businesses in those 3 counties. We are similar to the SBDC in that we can help clients in our counties. If not, there are 92 Apex accelerators across the country. And if Malin could put my email in the chat, if you have trouble finding your Apex accelerator, you can Google it as well. If you have trouble finding it or getting in touch with them, please send me an email and I'll send a personal introduction to the project manager or the program manager for that particular Apex to make sure you get what you need. Next slide. So how do we help businesses? Well, we do a lot of webinars. We probably have 3 webinars a week and about 3,000 participants per year. Meat and potatoes is similar to the SBDC. When you make an appointment with us, you get one-on-one business advice and you set the agenda. You let us know what you need help with and we help you with it. If we don't know the answer to the question, we will find it out. We also help you with market research. It's important to fill that pipeline as a small business. One of the ways you do that is attending events like the Caltrans event that's coming up. But we teach you how to do it. We won't do it for you. It's much better to be able to do that process over and over and over so that it's repeatable on your end than to have us, do it once and then you'll be right stuck back in the same place. Next slide. Again, if you're not in our 3 counties, this is where you can find your Apex Accelerator. Next. It's important to note that we're funded and we're paid. You don't pay us. Again, we are providing our services at no cost. So 65% of our funding comes from the Department of War and 35% comes from state and local. Predominantly the state of California, the Office of GoBiz provides our 35% there. But we also get sponsorship dollars, and you'll see that in the next slide, I believe. So these are our local sponsors. We couldn't do what we do without them. And it's kind of nice. You see, we've got a couple of large primes on there. As far as construction, we've got a large DoD prime in General Atomics. We've got DGS for the Department of General Services for the state of California. County of San Diego, we have 4 water authorities. We've got SANDAG, San Diego International Airport, and a non-traditional funder in civic communities. But our host is Southwestern Community College, and they really are a great host. We're lucky. We probably have one of the best hosts in the country as far as Apexes, and they believe in the community and supporting the community. So that's why they host our program. Next slide. Okay, so what is government contracting? One of the key things you have to do before you go to an event, so you know who to talk to, is research your market. Know which agencies buy your products. Know what they're paying for them. Know what they've paid for them in the past. And also, please, do the research to find out, a certain agency may be buying, if you sell widgets, for instance, they may buy 1 widget a year and they've been buying it from the same company for the last 20 years. That's probably not a market you want to go into, okay? But if they're buying 1,000 widgets a year and they're buying from 10 different companies, you may be able to crack yourself into that market. So do that homework. Know what the agencies buy, who they've been buying it from, and what they've been paying for it. Because, for instance, if they're buying widgets and they're paying $100 a widget right now, and the lowest you can get it for is $150 when you're putting your profit on, you're not going to get that. The government is also very much supposed to do it in a thing that's fair. They want to make sure the price is fair and reasonable, and they also have to use the government tax dollars wisely. They're your tax dollars, they're my tax dollars, so I'm happy that they're doing that. But in some cases, just because you have a product doesn't mean the government's going to buy it from you because your price may be prohibitively high. Find your niche. Competition is fierce out there. You need to make sure that if you can put it into a smaller component where it's just you and a couple other people, your competition is less, and then you're going to be more successful. Understand how the government spends. Okay, there's different ways the federal government spends, different ways the state government spends, and areas of spending. The County of San Diego spends a majority of their money in health and human services, while the Department of Defense spends the majority of their money on weapon systems. So you really need to understand who your target customer is and where do they spend their money, and understand how they do that. Traditionally, the federal government will spend a lot more in the 4th quarter, which is July, August, September. So we're in the midst of that right now. The reason is many times in the 1st quarter, we're under a continuing resolution or we don't have a budget passed yet. The last 2 years have been really, really difficult with that. So know how the government spends in the areas of government spending. Also know your competition and know their contracts. You need to understand that the government has other options. And again, they're supposed to buy it from a vendor that's providing a fair and reasonable price. Just because you're certified as a certain type of business doesn't mean the government is required to buy from you. Okay, so know your competition and their contracts, because that can help you compete for those and possibly wiggle them away from those current incumbents, and you could be the new supplier. Next slide. Okay, certifications are important, and this is part of what you're going to put on that capability statement, right? What are your certifications? But on the federal side, you've got 4, and it's the women-owned and the economically disadvantaged women-owned. Hub zone, historically underutilized business zone. Then you've got the service disabled veteran-owned small business and the veteran small business, and then the small disadvantaged business program with the 8A program. The women-owned and the 8A program have seen a significant reduction in the number of contracts that are awarded under this administration. Primarily on the 8A side, because there is some misconception that the 8A program is a DEI program. It's not, but there is some concern about some fraud in that program as well. And then the women-owned program, it's just there's fewer women-owned contracts being let by the U.S. government right now. So something to be aware of. It doesn't mean that those certifications are not worthwhile. But for the 8A certification in particular, it's a 9-year certification. Probably want to wait and see what happens over the next year and a half here with the midterm elections and coming up with a new administration at some point to see if it's something you want to dive into. But we can talk about that with you individually if you've got concerns. The state has small and DVBE. That's it. 25% of the state budget is to go to small businesses. Another 3% goes to disabled veteran business enterprises. And the state of California is the 5th or 4th largest economy in the world, based on who you're asking. Either way, it's really big. And I will tell you that if you're a disabled vet in the state of California, you own a business, there's only 2,000 certified DVBEs right now, and 3% of the 4th or 5th largest economy in the world is a lot of contracting dollars. So something to be, to look at. Every city has certifications. I use San Diego as an example here. You've got the small local business enterprises and the emerging local business enterprises, different programs, different levels for different types of work that you're doing, construction or services. But this is what you can see myself or my team about, or Cheryl's team, to find out, what is your most likely target customer, because that's where you want to look and figure out, okay, which certifications are going to help me with contracting leverage with that potential customer. People ask me all the time, hey, can I get the women-owned certification so I can sell to the state of California? I said, you can, but you're wasting your time. The state of California doesn't recognize a women-owned certification. That's only for the federal government. So again, you have to understand that you need to look at who's your potential target and then get a certification that's going to help you with them. Don't get every certification under the sun. It's not worth it. It takes time and administrative effort to get these certifications, and you don't want to waste time or get certifications that you're never going to use. And then you've got other certifications within the state and that are either through the federal government or through different organizations. You get the California Unified Certification Program. You've got the California Public Utilities Commission certifications. You got the federal DBE program, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, that is being revived, but right now is still being paused. So if you're interested in that, you definitely need to see somebody from Cheryl's team or my team. And then you've got the Airport Concessions DBE program. So those are all different certifications. Again, don't get every cert. Go and pick your certifications. Next slide. Okay, so when you're going into business and you're going to start, getting all your documents put together and getting ready for certifications and all these other places that you have to register your business, make sure that you set a file up on your computer that has all of this stuff, okay? And save it in a computer file, all right? So the other thing you need to make sure is you need to have adequate financial resources. So when you get a government bid, particularly if it's for service, you probably have to float your employees for 60 to 90 days, which means you have to have 60 to 90 days of money available so you can pay your employees before those invoices to the government start coming through and you get paid. Please make sure you can meet required delivery schedules. If they say 30 days ARO, which means 30 days after receipt of order, make sure you can do it within 30 days. Past performance, usually it's 1 to 2 years. That's not always required because you have to start somewhere, right? You can start with subcontracting, but you do have to have some past performance. Strong integrity and business ethics, that always goes far, in my opinion. There are some people in the business community that don't have integrity or strong business ethics, and eventually that will bite them, in my opinion. All right, organizational readiness, you have to have leadership and personnel. If you need technical experience, make sure you have that on your staff, or you have somebody that you can subcontract to get the required technical experience. You have to have accounting and operational controls as a business. And some of these government contracts require you to be DCMA audited, which means even further controls. And if you don't know what that is, you probably need to see somebody from Cheryl's team or my team. And obviously production and technical facilities, required equipments and tools, and make sure you're eligible to receive that contract award. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so as Cheryl mentioned, and I thought I had more in here about capability statements, but it's very important on your capability statement that you're bringing to this fair. You should have one. If you know you're going to go visit a potential customer, you can tailor your capability statement to that customer, just like a resume. Tailor the resume to the job. Here you tailor the capability statement to the customer. And if you do that, you'll impress them because it'll show them that you've done some research on them and you know what they're looking for. You'll also have a general one because you don't know who you're going to see. Okay. But this should be a one-page document. And if you don't have it, again, it's like a company resume. Please see Cheryl's team or my team, and we can help you get one together. There's still time to get one even for next week. All right. But this isn't something you create and you keep it on the shelf. It's a living, breathing document. Okay. So it's all about the customers. If you don't have somebody that's willing to open their wallet and give you green dollars for your product or service, then your business isn't going to be successful. All right. So target the right buyers, understand what drives their purchasing. Again, how do they make their purchases? Is it a quarterly buy? Is it a semi-annual buy? Do they buy it when they need it? Do they need to know you? There's all kinds of things that go into this. And again, we can talk about this in greater detail on a client appointment. Align your strengths with Caltrans priorities if you're looking to sell to Caltrans. There'll be plenty of Caltrans buyers at this event. You get to see and touch and feel these the things that they're looking for, and you'll meet the buyer. So it's a great event to go to. Be ready to perform. Past work, capacity, and financials, all that is required in order to get more work. All right. And then let agency demand, not assumptions, guide your strategy. So make sure there is a demand for your product or service so that you're not trying to sell them something that they either don't know they need or don't need. Next slide. Okay, we do a bunch of webinars, and these are all available on our website. So if you're a client of ours, you can attend these, and you don't have to be in our area to attend our webinars. You can sign up to just attend webinars. You need to be in our area to get a one-on-one appointment. So you can see the ones that we're doing coming up in August. Next slide. And we have an event. This is the resource fair, right? This is what we're talking about. Next slide. If you want to get in touch with us, that's how you do. And we're all over social media. I don't do much on X, but I take a peek at it now and again. Next slide. And that's how you sign up for counseling. Final slide. Oh, that's how you fill out an application. I lied. There's one more slide. This is what our CRM looks like. It's very similar to the SBDC and the Women's Business Center and the Veteran Business Outreach Center. Don't be confused. The one thing I got to point out here is you have to do a separate one for each organization. They don't talk to each other, unfortunately. We haven't figured that out yet. We're working on it, but we haven't figured that out. Next slide. Okay, questions?
All right, Mike, we have 2 questions in the chat that I wasn't able to answer myself.
Okay.
The first one is kind of straightforward. Is it easier to book advising through Apex directly or through the SBDC portal?
In order to get an appointment with us, you should book with us directly. So you go to our website and you sign up to become a client, or you can use the email that was put in the chat by Melinda earlier. Send me an email and I'll have one of my team send you the link to put in your general information in our CRM. Once you're accepted as a client, you'll get a email that has a Calendly link to one of my advisors, and you'll pick the time that's best for you based on their availability. So I would say go into our portal. If you're already an SBDC client, you could ask your SBDC advisor to go ahead and do the referral as well. You can do it both ways. It's probably quicker to go into our portal.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mike. And then the next question, we're gonna try to swing through it for time. We're on a good track, but how do new small businesses without past performances for government compete with others with past performances?
Well, that's very difficult, and I was kind of leaning into that. One way you can do it is you can be a subcontractor at first. So be a subcontractor to a prime on a larger contract. That past performance will count towards future contracting. You can also use in your capability statement, you can put in experience from key personnel or key players on your team that would be similar to the past performance you need in order to get those contracts. But you have to make it very clear that that performance was while that person was working for another entity and not yours. The government's really sensitive about knowing whether or not the company has past performance or the people in the company have past performance. The reason for that is you can be the best subject matter expert in the world and yet the worst business person. So it is important for the company to build up past performance, but you have to start somewhere. And all of these companies that are successful in government contracting started somewhere. So keep looking for that low-hanging fruit, those smaller awards at first, subcontracting opportunities, and then make an appointment with Cheryl's team or my team, and we'll try to figure out the best way for you guys to jump into the deep end of the pool into government contracting.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mike, so much for your time spent presenting this morning. Again, Mike's contact information is in the chat. And next, we will be having DGS present, the Department of General Services, with Pierre Washington.
Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me and see me?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Cheryl Brown and Mike Sabellico, the work the SBDC does and the Apex Accelerators. It goes such a long way in helping small businesses contract with the state, federal, local, county. There's so many gaps that at DGS we can help you with when it comes to going after specific solicitations and whatnot. And the SBDC and Apex, they are such great partners of ours, and I cannot recommend them enough. So before we get started, my name is Pierre Washington. I'm a business outreach liaison here with the Department of General Services, Office of Small Business and DVBE Services, Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Services. Next slide. And today we're going to be talking about I'm Certified Now Award, and this is primarily for businesses that are already certified to help them understand how to maximize their profile and also how to utilize their UNSPSC codes and keywords to go after those contract opportunities. Now, this will also be valuable information for those who are not certified to help them understand the process of going through the links and whatnot for getting that certification started. Next. We can go and skip over that. That's my contact information. I'll share it later if you have any questions. What I want to go over today briefly is your Cal eProcure profile and how to make sure it's robust and you have the right UNSPSC codes and keywords on your profile so you can go after those contract opportunities that are listed in the CSCR, our contract registration system, and also how to review those past purchases. The state puts all of our purchases in our past purchases database, and leveraging that past purchases database to understand what departments are buying, which the businesses are getting those contracts is going to help you, give you a leg up over businesses that don't understand how to use this skippers. It's also how to use skippers to reach out to advocates and let them know, hey, I've done my homework on your department. And I can also, I can supply goods and services that you buy regularly. Reciprocity partners and how you can use DGS's certification to be automatically certified for different counties, counties, cities, public utilities, and whatnot. Emergency contracting, how you can be there in the time of when California needs you for emergency contracting opportunities, and also commercially useful function, making sure you are compliant on a contract if you are a prime or a subprime. Next. So when you have your profile, it's very simple. You're going to want to make sure you have your business name, your email address, your addresses, and your keywords and UNSPSC codes. And we're going to cover those next. Keywords and UNSPSC codes are going to be the key to having a robust profile. Departments use UNSPSC codes and keywords when they're looking to make a purchase. And if you don't have relevant keywords and UNSPSC codes on your profile, you're essentially invisible when they go to make that purchase. Next. Now, what are keywords and UNSPSC codes? They describe goods and services. They allow buyers to find your business. They're also used for Cali Procure system notifications. So if a contract opportunity arises, you'll get that notification. And these can be updated at any time. You can add keywords, take away keywords, add those UNSPSC codes anytime during your certification. Next. Now, first, let's talk about keywords. Keywords are used to describe goods and services such as concrete, environmental, legal. Buyers find your business using keywords. So if I'm a buyer within a department, if I'm looking to buy printing paper, I'm going to go ahead and put in printer paper and as a keyword, and only small businesses with that keyword listed on their profile are going to show up. That's why it's so important you have relevant keywords and UNSPSC codes on your profile so you can be visible. Next. Some of the tips for keywords, you want to make sure you have individual words, not sentences, but you can have singular and plural of the words. Use common words and technical jargon. I like to say that imagine a customer is calling you. They're calling you for something specific. So if they're asking you, they need some landscaping done, they're not just going to call you for landscaping. They're going to call you for a specific part to hedge bushes or to mow the grass, something specific that relates to your business. Use synonyms such as trash, garbage, and waste. Use multi-word keywords when it's appropriate, such as information technology. And another great way to find those keywords is go and look at competitors on Cali Procure, see which keywords they have on their profile, and copy those if they relate to your business. Later on, I'm going to talk about skippers, and finding businesses that are actually already getting contracts is going to be the best way to find keywords and UNSPSC codes that are relevant to your business. Can we get the next slide? Awesome. Now let's talk about UNSPSC codes. And these are, I'm going to say, the most critical part of having a robust profile. There's two different places you're going to put in those UNSPSC codes. You're going to put them in your bidder profile, which is used for system notifications. And that's going to be so that way it's not going to be visible to buyers. It's just for you so you can get those notifications of when a contract opportunity arises. They can be aspirational. So let's say there's a product or service you're thinking about offering. You could put that UNSPSC code in your bidder profile so you can get notifications and find out how often is the state making purchases for this particular product or service. As opposed to your certification profile, it's publicly displayed. Anybody can view your certification has on hand or what you guys do. You don't want departments reaching out to you, and if you can't fulfill that procurement, because then it's just going to waste their time and waste your time as well. You want to make sure that if you're getting contacted, you can supply that good or service. Next. And some examples of the UNSPSC codes. The way it works is you see there's 4 different levels, and each level has its own category. So we start with the highest level, 14, followed by 6 zeros, paper material and products. A subcategory of paper material and products is going to be paper products that has the 1411 followed by 4 zeros. Then we have 14, 11, 15 followed by 2 zeros, and that's a subcategory of paper products, and that's business use, print and writing paper. And finally, being as specific as possible, we're going to have those final 2 digits are going to be completed, and the subcategory of business use, print and writing paper is going to be printer or copier paper. Now, we like to say choose all 4 of these UNSPSC codes. They'll all be, you can add all of them because you want to make sure you cover it all. If department just puts in paper material and products because they're looking for printer or copier paper, you want to make sure you get that, you get contacted as well. Next slide, please. Now, when selecting UNSPSC codes, you want to make sure you use DGS's curated list of UNSPSC codes, not the global UNSPSC code list, just because, like I said, we've curated the UNSPSC codes for what the state buys. You want to find codes through that hierarchy, as I said earlier. If you find a top level category, search through all of those subcategories to see if any of them are relevant to you, and search the subcategories of those subcategories, and so on. And once again, search for competitors' UNSPSC codes. If you see a business that gets contracts, go look at their profile and see what UNSPSC codes they have on their profile as well. Can we get the next one? Next, we're going to briefly talk about supplier diversity information. It's that's voluntary information that is added to your profile. It is not used to gain an advantage when it comes to contracting. It's just so we as a state can make sure our outreach efforts are reaching all communities. It's going to have your ethnicity, race, gender, orientation. As I said before, it's completely voluntary, and it just supports our diversity efforts to make sure we're reaching all communities. Next. Next, we're going to talk about finding contract opportunities on the California State Contract Registry, CSCR. This is public competitive bids, and it's also a place where you can post advertisements if you're a prime or a subprime looking to work as a prime, or vice versa. You want to be a prime on a contract and are looking for subcontractors to work with. Next. To go to the CSCR, you're going to be on the home page of your work center and click that big button, Start Search, shown here, and then we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. And just like, and it's going to show here, when you go in, you're going to put in that advanced search. It's going to open up these boxes for UNSPSC codes, service areas, contractor license types. So you can put in specific UNSPSC codes and see which contracts are available that are relevant to that code. Search for service areas, so that way you can narrow it down to the areas that you can actually service, and also contract license type. Let's say you hold a particular license and you want to find contracts that require that specific license that you hold. You can search for contract license type as well. Next slide, please. This is what it's going to look like when you do a search. Now, if you can see here, we have 458 search results. That's because we didn't narrow down our search. We just hit search all. Typically, there's going to be between 400 to 600 contracts available at any one time. But if you do narrow it down, that search results will reduce significantly. Now, in order to view these events, you'll see the event ID. That's going to be where you click, and it's going to take you into that solicitation and give you more information. Can we click the next slide? And this is what it's going to look like when you click on that event details. You'll see here the they have the submission deadline. That's the last day to get this information, to get your packet in. After that, this portal closes and you will no longer be allowed to submit application. It will show who you contact if you have any questions or concerns about submitting this contract, pre-bid conference information. That's so important because that can typically be a mandatory meeting. And if you don't, and it's going to be before the deadline, but if you don't attend that pre-bid conference and it's mandatory, you'll be excluded from being allowed to apply for that contract. So you want to make sure you're looking at any of those, any mandatory dates. And if you go into that view event package that we see there, that's going to give you the details of that particular solicitation. It's going to have the scope of work, the terms and conditions. If there is a budget associated, it will have the budget details and whatnot. That's going to be the nuts and meat and potatoes of the actual solicitation. If we see that view vendor ad, post vendor ads, that's where you post. Let's say you see elements of this contract. You can't be the primary and service all of the needs of this contract, but there are elements of the contract that you can work on. You can post a vendor ad and say, hey, I'm a certified small business RDBBE, and this is the work I can do. That lets larger businesses know that, hey, they can get some preference points if they subcontract with the small business RDBBE. They can get some of those preference points that that small business RDBBE would get. Next slide, please. And this is what it looks like when you go into that advertisement. You'll put your name, your email address, your phone number, and just a title of what your company does, a deadline, if you have a deadline that you want people to respond to, and a brief description of what you can do. This description is where you're going to advertise yourself. And so you want to put what your business can do, your certification number, and what you're capable of. Next slide. All right, now let's talk about past purchases database. And this is going to be your primary tool when it comes to doing that market research and finding what the state is buying. It's called the State Contract and Procurement Registration System. We call it SKIPPers for short. Next slide. And what is SKIPPers? It's a database of state purchases. It includes state and non-state dollars, such as federal dollars. Sometimes departments like Caltrans, they spend a lot of federal dollars. Those purchases will be in the SKIPPers as well. It's public facing, and it's used to do that market research so you can find which departments are buying which goods and services. Next. To go to the past purchases database, you'll go to public procurement information on the front page, or you can also see that quick links at the very top. Click that quick links. It's going to give you a drop down menu. The past purchases database is going to be in that quick links. That's always the easiest way to find the past purchases database. Next. One second. Okay, there we go. And this is what the past purchases database is going to look like. And if you see there, we hit the basic search criteria. It's kind of small. We hit the advanced search criteria and it opened it up to this portal right here. You can put in those UNSPSC codes that are relevant to your business and see how many times the state has made a purchase for that involved that particular UNSPSC codes. You can put more than one UNSPSC code at a time if you want to get a broader list, or you can just do one at a time if you want to narrow it down. And if we look here, we'll see the department name of which department made that purchase. If you click on that purchasing doc, it'll give you more detailed information about the purchase. You'll see that supplier name. If we scroll over, it doesn't show it on this slide, but if we scroll over to the right, it will show if that contract went to a small business, a DBBE, a micro business. And that's the great way where you can find out, okay, this small business got a contract for a UNSPSC code that I have on my profile. Let me go back to the Cali Procure, find businesses, put in that business and see what UNSPSC codes and keywords they have on their profile. Do a little bit of market research about businesses that are actually getting contracts. Next. And now that we've talked about past purchases database, let's tie that into the advocates. Every department that spends $100,000 or more has to have a DVBE, SB advocate, and their job is to help certify businesses, work with their department, bring them into the contracting fold. They assist small businesses and DVBEs with prompt payment, making sure that they are getting paid on time. They help buyers find certified business as well. So if a larger business is looking to go after a contract and they need to find some small businesses or some DVBEs to partner with on that contract, that advocate can help them out as well. And they're constantly seeking out new certified businesses. So when a purchase is ready to go, they can have those certified small businesses lined up. Next question. Next slide, sorry. Now, when you contact the advocate, you'll want to make sure you have their contact information, your certification ID, what you do, your capability statement. And while DGS, we can help you with your capability statement. That's something that Apex and SBDC can do. They can help you go after it word by word and making sure your capability statement is robust and marketable. And then when we tie this to skippers, when you contact that advocate, that's why doing that past purchases research is so important, because then you can actually tie your email, say, hey, I saw that you made a purchase for this particular product or service in the past. I'm a small business. I also offer that product or service. If you're looking to make a purchase in the future, can you please keep me in mind? That lets them know that, hey, I'm not just sending out generic emails to all the advocates. I'm actually doing my homework, and I know a little bit about what your department buys. Just helps you stick out a little bit more to businesses that are just sending out generic emails. Next. This is what a capability statement looks like. It's just pretty much a resume for your business. You're going to have those UNSPSC codes that you offer. Make sure you have your certification number and any relevant information about your business that you think will help you secure that contract. Next. When you ask an advocate, make sure do you have any upcoming contract opportunities? Can you include me in relevant solicitations if they have anything coming up? And also ask them, what do you buy on a regular basis? And if I can supply those goods or services. Next. To find the advocate, you'll go to our training and resources page, which you can find on the homepage of Cali Procure. You'll click that Contact the Advocate button shown there. Next. And it's going to take you to this screen. It's going to take you to DGS's our website. That's where we house our advocate directory. You'll click that button, and then it'll take you over to the advocate directory, which we'll see on the next slide. And this is what the advocate directory looks like. If you look you can see the department, the unit that they work in, the advocate name, their address. But if you scroll over to the right, it doesn't show it on this screen, but it will have their email address, their contact information, so you can reach out to them. If we look at the top, we see department name. That's where you'll type in the specific department you're looking for. So if you see a department on Skippers, you want to reach out to that department because they buy what you sell. You can type that in and find that specific advocate for that department. Some departments may have more than one advocate, typically because those are departments with multiple units. So they have departments throughout the state, and so they'll typically have more than one advocate. Next. Now we're going to talk about reciprocity partners, and that's very simple. It's essentially cities, counties, utilities, transportation agencies, school districts that accept DGS's small business certification. So you don't have to get small business certified with them if you hold our certification. To find which entities are accepting DGS's certification, you can type in the web address you see here, dgs.ca.gov/pd-reciprocity. Now, it's important to note that while they may accept DGS's certification, if they have a small business program and they have their own certification, we will not accept that certification. To do business as a certified small business, or DBBE, you have to be certified on Cali Procure to work with the state as a small business. Next. Now let's talk about the emergency registry. It's very simple, straightforward. It's separate from Cali Procure. It's a list of certified small businesses, and it's used by departments when in an emergency situation. If you're going to be on the emergency registry, you need to be able to work 24 hours a day, 365 days, because emergencies happen all the time. Next slide. To get on the emergency registry, you need to make sure you have your certification number, your emergency categories, descriptions of product or services, business address, and like I said, contact information, both primary and after hours. Let's say the AC unit goes out in a server room of a department on Christmas Eve at 3 a.m. They're going to need a business that can come out and fix that AC to make sure those servers don't overheat right away. And they're going to reach out to businesses. They're not going to take the time to do a formal bid process. They're going to call you up. They're going to come to terms of the contract over the phone, and they need you to come out right away. If you don't pick up, they're going to move on to the next business right away. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about commercially useful function, and that's you have to be CUF compliant. You have to be executing a distinct element of the work, performing, managing, or supervising the work as stipulated, performing work that is normal for your firm's business. Let's say you have a warehouse where you store your equipment, but you're not using that that website is strictly used for your purposes to store your equipment. You can't contract with a larger business to store their equipment or store non-related products in your warehouse. You have to be negotiating the price, determining the quality, quantity, pretty much responsible for all aspects of the work you're doing, and not subcontracting a portion of the work that's greater than industry practices. Now, we know some industries, subcontracting is just the nature of the work. It just can't be more than industry practices. Next. You're not performing a commercially useful function if you're being used as a pass-through to obtain the appearance of an SBD-BBE. You're not being used to perform the work as stipulated in the bid, or you're no longer used providing goods or services listed in the initial bid response. Now, being CUF compliant is particularly important if you're a subcontractor on a contract. There's going to be a larger business who use your certification to get preference points over other businesses that didn't work with small businesses, but they can't just be using you as a pass-through. They are using your certification ID, and it's going to be your certification ID that gets dinged if you're not performing work, commercially useful function of the on the contract. And also, if you're on a contract and you can no longer provide that goods or services, you need to make sure they remove you from that contract, because, like I said, it's going to be your certification number that gets dinged if you're not performing that commercially useful function. Next. Next, I want to share some of our resources. As I said before, SBDC, Apex Accelerators. Also, we have SCORE. They provide business mentorship and can help you grow your business from starting your business to helping maintain your business and grow it as well. Next. This slide right here covers what we reviewed today. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I want to make sure you get our QR code so you could book that 101. So can we just go ahead and scroll over to the QR code page, Emlyn? Skip that. Follow us on LinkedIn. One more. This is for our educational opportunities, but you can find all that on our website. This is the one I want you to take a picture of, scan this QR code. It's probably our most valuable resource we offer here at DGS, where you can schedule a one-on-one consultation with the liaison like myself, and we can go ahead and do some screen shares, look at your specific profile, help you find those contract opportunities on the contract registry, how to use skippers, how to navigate it, how to reach out to those advocates. It's all done via Teams. And like I said, we can provide some one-on-one consultation, look at your profile directly, do those screen shares, and making sure you understand how to use Cali Procure. And that's pretty much it. One more slide so I can leave up my contact information. I think one more. Oh, I think that's it. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's my contact information. Take it down. If you have any questions after today, feel free to send me an email and I'll make sure I get those questions answered for you. And that's pretty much it. Do we have any questions?
Hi, Pierre. Thank you so much for your presentation. So far, all of the questions I've been able to answer, and in the interest of time, I think we're going to move on to the next one, just to keep us going on track. But you did get a comment just now from Michelle Mitchell, who said that was amazing in all caps. Thank you. So thank you so much for the information that you've been sharing. And now we're going to move into Greg Miller. Thank you, Pierre.
There we go. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you all. I got to take a hot second, and Michelle's dead on. This is amazing. I've done sales in my career. I've worked with the public for almost every day I've worked, and the information that's being provided, Cheryl was dead on. The elevator speech, you should be prepared to pull that out of the hat at a moment's notice, at any time, no matter where you're at. And it should be down pat. And it's amazing how much a difference that makes when you're meeting people, because you can draw them in really quickly. Mike gave great advice on focusing your attention on what's gonna provide you immediate support. And Pierre, man, I've had lots of conversations with him, and he is just absolutely wonderful. And there's vast resources that are available for folks who are trying to do business with the state, that we are kind of somewhat mandated to provide. And it's absolutely awesome. Once you start digging in there, it's an absolute rabbit hole of fun, stuff that is available for you guys, that just all you need to do is find out about it and take advantage of it. So again, thank you all for attending today. I can't tell you how excited this event that they have in San Diego next week is massive, and is one of the coolest opportunities that I've seen. My name is Gregory Miller. I'm a branch chief here at Caltrans in the Division of Procurement and Contracts. I've been with the state for about 14 years, and I've been here for about 5. I've been here for 8 years, 5 of it as a manager. And I've been a small business liaison representing DPAC for that time. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. And I want to talk a little bit about what Caltrans has got going on, and the steps that we take, and what's readily available for you folks. Can we go and go to the next one? Oh, sorry about that. For those of you who ask, because this is the question we get all the time, is what is DPAC? What do you do? Why should I talk to you? And that's really good. The Division of Procurement and Contracts is basically every department is going to have a group that actually handles their procurement, providing training, developing policies and procedures and what have you, doing review of documents to ensure that they're complete and compliant, issuing purchase orders or CPOs as the case may be, and basically managing the process of procurement in a way that keeps DGS happy, showing that we are good stewards of taxpayer money, and that we are able to spend the monies that we do. So we do work hand in hand with DGS and making sure that the steps that we are taking from a procurement standpoint are above board, ethical, and really kind of protect California taxpayer money. So scheduled to appear next week, you have actually really cool. We're implementing a little bit more IT individuals that'll be out there. So Gabriel Conan, DPAC's office chief for IT goods and IT service contracts, who is actually a wealth of knowledge regarding contracting and doing IT purchases. I think that's going to be extremely beneficial for a lot of folks. We also, one of his staff members, Wendy Eccles, will be attending as well. Again, phenomenal resource regarding IT, giving a little of the who, what, where, and when. Also scheduled to appear is my contemporary, Mr. Robert Jacoby. Um, he's a branch chief. We have two branches of non-IT goods folks doing processing. I handle some, Rob handles the other. So ask Rob if you can have a coffee. I'm just kidding. Have fun. Great people who will be out there answering questions for you guys next week. So next one, please. Okay, I'm gonna kind of zip through. We are a little behind on time, so I'm gonna kind of zip through these things a little bit. But again, there's a ton of resources that are available, and I'm gonna kind of run through what Department of Transportation, Caltrans does, and a little bit of stuff. So we're gonna kind of zip through. Go to the next one, please. All right, so Caltrans is massive. We have over 23,000 employees. We are up and down the state, literally tip to tip. And there is a ton of opportunities, a ton of individuals doing their purchasing, right? The one thing that I like to remind folks is that Caltrans does their procurement at what I refer to as the lowest level possible. That means that person who's hanging off the side of the hill up there in a maintenance station in District 10 during the winter months, that's the person who's going to be ordering their propane or the toner cartridges that they need in order to work. It could be somebody sitting in office here in Sacramento in legal, or somebody down in San Diego in their legal department who I think you guys might get the opportunity to meet next week. But we do that procurement at the lowest level possible. So the goal for you is to find out who works in these areas and how do you get in touch with them. And that's the direction that I would give. When you're looking at the DOT website, right, dot.ca.gov, very simple to get to, and you're going to have some links across the top of the page. They're going to talk about Caltrans Near Me, which is you can look to the different programs that are out there. We are split up into 12 separate districts, like you guys learned earlier, but we also have about 130 or 40 programs that are all up and down the state. They may have representation legal, like I said, they're in LA, they're in San Diego, they're in Sacramento. So the possibility to work with the people in more local areas. And most importantly, what I love is that work with Caltrans feature. Ton of information there. Let's go to the next page. Okay, so when you click on that Caltrans Near Me page, what's going to come up for you is a little physical map of the state, and I actually have this picture hanging in my desk because I can never remember where District 8 is. I'm kidding, District 8. I love you guys, or at least I had a trouble doing that early in my career. But the picture stands because it helps me visualize where people are and where people aren't. So when you start kind of direct your attention of what types of services you offer, what type of products you offer, who's really going to need them in what areas, and you're going to want to direct your attention there. You actually can literally click inside of each one of those little districts, and it'll take you to that district's individual page, which I love. It'll also provide you a link to each one of these pages and how they're referred to and kind of where they're located. Also very helpful to kind of direct you to the right people. Okay, kind of a fun game. Next screen. Next, there we go. All right. So in this particular case, we clicked on District 8, friends of mine. And what it does, it takes you to that local district. And what has blown me away is how much access to information that folks have regarding each individual district, what they do, what they don't do, what projects they've got going on, popular links that they go to. You can actually go so far to report a pothole to the customer service folks, and it'll get picked up and collected and actually done something about them. Obviously, you can send in your wishes, wants, desires, complaints, emotional outbursts, whatever. But this is all readily available to be used by the public today. It just puts you in a position where you can learn a lot and educate yourself about a particular area, and also what popular links, cams, traffic cams. I love being able to look at all the traffic cams, what's going on, all right here on every single district's individual page. Next one, please. Okay. So when you click on programs, you're going to get a drop-down menu, and you notice the drop-down is pretty extensive. I actually had to click it twice because there's so many programs. And we do have programs within programs as well, which makes it even more fun because Caltrans is extra special. As I like to say, we're a little extra. So it'll go down and I mean, as a tool for you to get in front of the people that actually need the service or commodity that you provide. This is a way for you to look through these different groups and understand, you know, public affairs. Well, obviously they handle public affairs and any interaction with the media. So there's, you know, whatever, if you happen to sell a service that is close to that, you can do. If you're a consultant that does project management, well, there's a project management team. That's what they do. They set up projects up and down the states for the different programs. They're actually an intermediary for the programs to set those up. These are avenues for you to gain contacts and information for people out there who actually do this kind of work. And if it's an opportunity to work with them directly, or possibly leverage them as okay, thank you very much. I understand what you do. Who else does this? Who else should I talk to? As you are marketing your company to get to a point where you put yourself in a position to be ready for a bid when it's available. Next screen, please. Okay. So in this particular case, what I decided to do is click on maintenance. Most of my focus in non-IT goods is working with our maintenance teams because with keeping I've got the freeway right outside my window. So I get to look out there and I see all the little things that my team, that I as an analyst and my team purchase every single day to keep the roadway, the right-of-way, the roadway running smoothly as possible. So when you click on this, obviously this is going to take you to maintenance. There's customer service. There's a list of the individual maintenance stations, and addresses and where they're located. So you kind of know where these things are. It's genuinely terrifying to me, the sheer volume of maintenance stations that exist in the state of California for Caltrans and how we are everywhere up and down the state. It's just amazing to me. Also with that is contact us. So there's more contact information, individuals, and people like, or Deepak might be out there, but there's just a lot of information here, a lot of people's names, a lot of avenues to go down for you to control your marketing, as Cheryl told us earlier. Next screen. Okay. Now, what really, really took my breath away when I started I started creating this presentation and actually answering questions for folks and looking things up for questions that I'd gotten at events that I had attended. The work with Caltrans is one of the absolutely most just in-depth, just pot of gold when it comes to wanting to do business with Caltrans. Now, I'm a big fan. I say Caltrans, we've got a lot of money, we got a lot of contracts. But I say get greedy. Don't just do business with Caltrans. Focus your attention, find all the departments. There's 150 of them out there with the State Plus that may need your services or your commodities, and you're going to want to go and do something similar on their webpage and mine the gold that is out there. It's readily available. What I love most about this is it lists your projects that are currently out there. There's an opportunities portal that's available. And most importantly, what I think is Contractors Corner. Contractors Corner is really, really more great for service contracts, for projects that are being done. But it's a means of being able to log in, create a login and a password, get access to the project's opportunities in different ways. And making sure that you're on a list. So if a project does come out that has your UNSPSC code or your keywords that you listed on your registration, you can be notified automatically when a project is advertised or a contract is advertised that fits your little world. So it's very important to jump in there and do that. And it's just another avenue to get automatically alerted to things, so you don't have to go looking for it. It comes to you. And that for me is gold. Next screen. Okay. So when you go into all projects currently advertised, you get a couple of drop downs. If you happen to know a project number, you can enter it in and just go with there. Otherwise, you can filter all advertised projects. You can look for ones that are already passed, but you can also go to different districts that it might be out there advertising what's available at that moment right now. And that's a general list. There's a way to sort projects and filter things through. So it is extremely useful if you're looking for what's out there today. I think I saw in the bids earlier that we usually present Tuesdays and Thursdays is when they put new bids out. So that those would be your opportune times. Say Wednesday morning, Friday morning are good times to be looking for any new projects that might be coming out there. Basically, any service project we put out there, anything over a certain dollar amount, we have to put out the contract. It needs a certain amount of labor. It has to be posted to the state, obviously on the CSCR, which our nice gentleman Pierre mentioned earlier there at DGS. But this is information that is maintained by Caltrans specifically. So this would be Caltrans specific quotes, projects that are available. Next screen. Okay. Contracting opportunities, again, searching by the districts. Under that opportunities portal, you can search by districts. You can select them or deselect them as you wish. You can click on the map itself. It'll take you to what's available in that area at this time. We're just trying to lay it out there, make it as easy as possible for you folks. Next screen. Okay. So in this particular case, I went ahead and I dropped it in this District 11, and this one I think was from last year. But here it is, District 11. You can see where, it gives you a nice little map of the outline of where it's at. But it'll talk about the different projects that are currently available to bid out in that area. Which again, if you're just, kind of just randomly looking to see what's available, this is an opportunity for you to find out what's going on. Obviously, in some cases, there'll be primes that'll be listed, that'll be solicited who may be looking for subs. This is another opportunity for you to possibly find a prime contractor looking for subs to actually handle different parts of it. So another way for you can find information that's out there. Next one. Okay. So I went into Contractor's Corner, not really realizing just shockingly how much there is to do there. When you click on the Contractor's Corner link there in the top left, it'll actually drop down to three. You get some tabs. You get a general information tab, an advertisement tab, bidding, and awards. This is all information that's out there and information about like Buy America. I think is good to know that if that's still a thing. I think that may have gotten taken away. But there is a ton of information that's readily available for you as a provider to be able to search, gather information so you understand a little bit more about the way Caltrans looks at things and possible, which will alter your directions as far as what you're going to do and not going to do. Again, what Caltrans is really doing is putting out publicly available a boat ton of information for you folks to gather, to look at, research, put yourself in a position so that when the opportunities do arise, they, like the saying is, luck favors the prepared. If you're prepared and you have your stuff in all the right places at the right time, things will come your way. It may take some time to get there, but luck favors the prepared. So put yourself in a good position. And this is a staggering amount of information to look at and go over to help you market yourself better and understand the programs a little bit better so you can tailor things just a little bit nicer. And that's ultimately, everybody wants a nice tailored bid, make it look right. Next one, please. Okay. Now, again, one of the first things that we always ask, folks will come up to us and they'll ask, "Hey, who's DPAC? What do you guys do?" We do compliance is essentially what we do. I'm not the right person to talk to when we start. When you want to do business with the state of California, by the time it gets to us here in DPAC, it's pretty much 80% done. We're just verifying compliance and pointing people in directions and what have you. What I do always like to hit on right off the bat, and I really appreciate Pierre doing such a fantastic job talking about SBDVB certification. If you're not a certified SBDVB, you get them, get certified. Talk to Pierre, go to their website. Caltrans has information where it actually has a little pop-up says get certified as an SBDVB. They really try to make it as simple as possible, right? And again, the United Nations Standard Products and Service Codes, the UNSPSC codes, people search. We train the staff out in the field on steps to take in order to follow our process for procurement. Part of that is locating vendors. And there's lots of ways to do that. And Cali Procure is an integral tool that we train staff to use to find vendors, past vendors, people we've already done business with, or also small business vendors that are certified if we can't find enough or get people that aren't communicating effectively and we need to find other vendors, going and checking the small business or public works or the DVBE groups. Those are all there, and this is a tool that we do use a lot. So it really does behoove you to get in there and get it right and keep it updated. Next. Right. Again, I would zip through this. Cali Procure, like you said, you can find public procurement information on there. There's information about selling to the state. I like to touch on these things all the time because it is readily available. It's something I look at every single day. And if I was doing sales, if I had a company that I was marketing and trying to get business, I would be on this tool 3 to 5 days a week looking for past purchases for, and finding out vendors who are people who have purchased from them in the past, and making sure that my certifications are as updated as possible. And Pierre hit on that a lot. See what the competitors are doing, put you up there so that you pop up at the same time they do, and that just increases your odds of getting it right and getting a job. So next. All right. Folks, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to attend this event. Thank you, Malin and the D11 team. You guys are phenomenal in putting this together. And I can't encourage you guys enough to show up there next week in San Diego. They usually have a group of people who actually are at the front line, that lowest level group of folks who actually do the buying. Last time I was there, they all say, "Hey, Greg." They recognize me in my name because I sign a lot of the POs that are out there. So it's an actual phenomenal opportunity to get to meet the frontline people. And that's where it starts, people. Meet the frontline folks, and everybody talks to everybody else. You asphalt people, love talking to asphalt people. You signs people, love talking to signs people. And all the districts talk to each other all the time. So get in with one, and it promulgates, folks. Do the job, do it right, and it comes your way. There will be handouts there regarding top commodities that are purchased. I think we'll do one for D11, but we'll probably do one for Caltrans, which, by the way, is actually on the not IT on the dot.ca.gov website under the procurement and contracts. There is actually a link that'll give you a list of all those as well. So, any questions for Greg?
Hi, Greg. So far, all of the questions in the chat I have been able to answer. Great
Yay!
information that I'll even be referencing a little bit later in our presentation. So we appreciate you taking the time, and we are so excited to see you next week at the fair.
Well, you'll see Rob and Gabriel and Wendy, and
Oh,
Rob's
true.
taller than
Yes.
I am, so you'll see a taller Rob. So,
Okay.
but I appreciate you guys hosting us, and we look forward to seeing all the attendees. It's a great time, and it's really impressive. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Okay, and next we have Adriana from our Caltrans Office of Civil Rights. Thank you, Adriana. You're muted. Sorry.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes. Okay. I apologize for that. But yes, my name is Adriana Ring, and I am here from the Office of Civil Rights, and I work in the Small Business and Workforce Development Center. And I will go over what we do here in our office to help small businesses. Next slide, please. Okay, so just a little bit about our vision and our mission statement. We do want to be the nation's leading small business and workforce development provider for constructing and maintaining transportation infrastructure, and also building a diverse transportation small business and workforce, so to strengthen our community. Next slide, please. So the Small Business and Workforce Development Center is made up again of two branches, which is in the name. So we have the Small Business Development Branch, which I am a part of. Here I am a small business program specialist, and I am the Southern Region Specialist, which is why I'm here today. And the Workforce Development Branch, which provides on-the-job training, supportive services that entails with different training programs that I will be going over here shortly. Next slide, please. So first, I will go over what we do here with at the Small Business Development Branch. Next slide. So just a little bit of a background. In the past, Caltrans offered these supportive services via different consultants, but we actually are fairly new. Our branch is only about 2.5 years into existence, I should say. And so now we have this internal branch, uh, which is the Small Business Development Branch, to serve as a direct support to service firms by providing them targeted guidance, resources, and technical assistance. Next slide, please. Alrighty, so some of the services that we offer small businesses is one-on-one inquiry assistance to SBs, DBEs, and DVBE firms. Again, we have dedicated Caltrans specialists. As I mentioned, I service the southern region, and then we also have a northern region and central region specialist that is dedicated to, assist firms with the different resources that they may need. We also assist with dual certification assistance, which would be the certification here with Caltrans, as well as getting your small business certification through DGS. We offer quick tips statewide, and that is through our text messaging services. Sorry, I just got a pop there. So what we do is have a text messaging service that we will be sharing with you if you would like to opt in, which is to support timely engagement, particularly for firms that may not consistently monitor their emails. So this gives another direct type of communication to channel and share different events that Caltrans might be having, not just in our office, but for example, today's webinar. If you are opted into the text messaging services, you will get notifications of what's going on with Caltrans in your district. So, once you opt in, you select your district. So you will only get information about what's happening in your area. Also, we do collaborate with the different, SBDCs and Apex accelerators to be able to assist, with individual needs. For example, if someone is looking for procurement assistance, then, we might refer them over to the Apex Accelerator. So we try to find those resources for small businesses when they are in need. And then also we have bid matching notifications, which is kind of similar to what was just discussed prior. So what the bid matching that system that we have is actually we use this tool to connect firms directly to contracting opportunities. So we send out notifications that are intentionally targeted using firms' NICS codes and their capability information, helping them ensure helping us to ensure that businesses receive project opportunities relevant to the work that they perform. And this is just something that we do from our CUCP registry. And then also our biggest accomplishment here and assistance that we provide is our business development program. And if you could please go to the next slide. All right, so the business development program is designed to strengthen the readiness and competitiveness of transportation-related small businesses with the emphasis on potential DBEs and small businesses that need structured support to pursue Caltrans-funded contracting opportunities. Some of the benefits that you can take advantage of through our business development program is that it combines, it provides a combination of structured training and individualized technical assistance. So firms aren't just receiving information, they're actually building capacity and direct support. Firms receive a one-on-one business assessment. This is where we and me and my team will identify what your current capacity is as a business, any gaps, and then readiness for Caltrans work. So we can focus the support on just what the highest impact areas might be for each firm. Firms are provided also with construction project management training. So this one is a really big one because it supports performance. And then once the firm, wins work, they learn, how they can win work, and, they teach you project planning, compliance expectations, documentation, discipline, and managing cost schedules and risk. So then from there, we move into strategic business plans and capability statement development, which is something that, if there's a firm that comes into our business development program and does not have these yet, we will help them develop a business plan, or we will review their current business plan and make it stronger, as well as their capability statements. And, as mentioned earlier as well, we kind of go over the importance of, tailoring your capability statements to a specific project that might be, that, a firm might be looking at. So the business development program provides technical training assistance, which also allows us to address common barriers such as estimating, bidding strategies, and business readiness, depending on where a firm is starting. It also includes workshops on financial planning, networking, and access to capital. And then another benefit is that, as we said, the bid matching and bid review assistance, that's also part of the construction project management course, helps identify opportunities that align with firms' NICS codes and their capabilities, and we support them in positioning them competitively. Finally, when a firm needs some type of specialized help beyond our scope, we make referrals to partner organizations so that firms can access deeper technical expertise, whether it's financial or bonding, insurance, or specific operational needs. Now there is, please go to the next one. Next slide. So I kind of just went over this a little bit, but next slide, please. I need to keep up. Okay, there we go. Now I'm on the right one. So there is eligibility criteria for the business development program that we try to target individuals who have limited contract success. So firms that have performed on or haven't performed on transportation related work. So we support their business so to make sure that realistically they pursue Caltrans opportunities. So the eligibility is that you have to have, like I said, limited success in obtaining work with Caltrans. And that is that you've had to have fewer than 5 Caltrans federally funded highway projects in the last 2 years and have been awarded less than $5 million in contracts in the than the last 2 years to be eligible for the business development program. Next slide, please. So yes, if you are interested in the business development program, we are actually now accepting interest forms. Our next business development program does begin September 1st. So we'll begin the enrollment process, but we are now in the outreach phase where we're trying to, spread awareness of our program so that, we have a goal of 120 firms to enroll in 1 year. And so it does take a lot of dedication from the firm. So if a firm is really looking to, take their business to the next level and really compete with Caltrans, this is a year-long program. So, there is going to be a lot of commitment from the firms to follow the process through. And again, take advantage of it. We have our interest form QR code here. If you would like to scan that, it'll take you to the interest form where you will fill out your information, and then we will reach back out to you with the actual enrollment application and then go from there. There is an orientation that will go through before the enrollment phase. You will watch an orientation that actually really gets in depth to what to expect in the program. Because I said alone with the construction project management course, it's a course that's about 8 weeks and about 40 hours long, but you do get a certificate at the end of completion that you can also add to your business plan or your capability statement. But it is a great program, and we would really like for those firms who are struggling to get on Caltrans projects to join the program, because a lot of times it might not be about being outbid. A lot of times your bid might be missing something, so this program will help you by getting your prior bids, if you have any, reviewed, and then we provide feedback on how you can strengthen those bids so that you can have better opportunities. Okay, next slide, please. Alrighty. So now I'm going to go over the workforce development branch side. And this is, we have really great programs with our workforce team here, and they're mostly focused on training disadvantaged individuals who might not have the opportunity or had the opportunity to, have a career in construction or highway construction, and what we do is we take the top trades that Caltrans is in demand for, and from there we establish training courses and academies for individuals to learn a new trade, and it's all free. And we also provide some incentives while you're in the courses, but I will go over, for example, our Heavy Equipment Operator Academy, which has been one of our most successful and pretty much the first training academy that we've ever had. And it provides hands-on classroom training for careers in heavy highway construction and supports participants in earning key certifications, including multi-craft core curriculum, and we have a contract with this institution for 3 years. So we are doing 9 courses. The Academy has trained now over 134 participants, and they have achieved a 96% graduation rate, 82% job placement rate, and 62 of that, the 62% of that has been in construction trades. Next slide, please. Okay, before I touch on other workforce development programs that we have, I do want to, let you guys know that the next Heavy Equipment Operator Academy course is in District 9, which is in Kern County, but that one, our applications have already closed because it starts September 28th. But the next opportunity for a Heavy Equipment Operator Academy is going to be in District 7 in Los Angeles, and that one is going to go from January to March of 2027. Usually they start taking applications about 3 months to about 2 months before so that they can do the interview process and selection process. Now, each one of these courses are limited to 20 per class. That's just the amount of students that can be in. You get hands-on experience and you get to use the simulators first, and then you get to do outside projects with various different types of heavy equipment machinery. And this is very beneficial, not just to firms, but you know, if you have staff members that could um, use these type of trainings, or even if you as a business owner would like to receive more training or even add more to your capabilities, this is a great opportunity. Now, we do target each region per year. So, you know, San Diego has already, or District 11 has already had an academy. So then we just keep rotating, which is the next, like I mentioned, the next one is in District 7. So that would be the next Southern California. So we try to make sure that we're targeting, you know, statewide academies. And so I will share some information on that if you are interested in the chat, but I do want to go over some of our new workforce development programs that we have. We have a commercial driver's license program. So Caltrans worked with local workforce development partners to provide participants with industry recognized training and connect graduates with employment opportunities in the trucking industry. And then also we have an upcoming welding program at the California Institution for Men in Chino. So this one is in partnership with excuse me here, with the California Correctional Training and Rehabilitation Authority. So this program specifically is also targeting individuals that are incarcerated. So currently that's our welding program there, but we're not just going to limit it to the incarcerated individuals. Our welding program is also going to then grow to outside. So as just as our heavy equipment operator academy, it will be offered to you know, the public as well. And then we have the National Summer Transportation Institute program, which is for school-aged children, so anywhere from middle school to high school students. And this is a summer program that is also completely free, and students get to stay at a university in the dorms and also learn about transportation-related careers, you know, engineering, infrastructure, all of that. So we are trying to target you know, the youth early to let them know that, you know, there are a lot of opportunities in the transportation related world. So that is another great program that we have. So we will be sharing some of that information here with you as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so here we have our QR codes in case you want to stay informed with updates, opportunities, and also strategic planning dates. We have our small business development branch notification system here on that top QR code, which is the text messaging program that we have that I mentioned earlier. If you want to stay in the know about different Caltrans opportunities as well as events. For example, like the procurement fair coming up August 5th, you would get notified of anything that's going to be happening in your direct area. So if you would like to opt in to receive those text messages, we highly recommend. And then that would be the top QR code here that you are seeing on the screen. And then if you want more information about our workforce development programs, there is a QR code there as well on the bottom, so that you could receive notifications on the next programs that we might offer, dates and application dates and stuff that sort. So if you're interested in taking advantage or know somebody who could benefit from our workforce development programs, I would definitely highly recommend scanning that as well. We're also going to be providing links and the actual email also. I see that there's a question if about the youth program. So yes, if you want more information on that, you can email us directly. I'm not sure if my colleague here has put the information in there. I believe so. So my colleague Damon Dorn had added the notifications for the workforce side, and then also their email. We'll go ahead and add that to the chat, and you can send us an email so that we could provide more information on the NISTI program, which is the youth program. Next slide, please. Okay, so then that wraps everything up. If there's any questions or not,
Thank you,
here's the email.
Adriana.
Thank you. So here's the email, just real quick, just so anybody would like to email us. The Caltrans Biz Support is for our business development program, and then the OJTSS is going to be for all the workforce development program needs. So you can email us directly with any of your questions.
Thanks so much, Adriana.
Thank you.
I'm going to emphasize that email them directly for any questions because we are just out of time. It's 11:59 now. I am going to just close us up with a few key points about Caltrans District 11, and then we'll release you off to your lunch. Okay. So I just want to reiterate a couple of things that were shared earlier in this session. The first thing is that Caltrans identifies 3 different certifications. The first one is that small business certification, including micro business and small business for the purpose of public works. We also identify the disabled veteran business enterprise certification, and those 2 certifications you receive through the Department of General Services at Cal eProcure. And then the third certification we recognize is the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. That one's only for our federally funded contracts, and it's currently on pause right now. So if you were previously certified as a DBE before October 2025, you know who you are. You should be reevaluated. Until all those firms are reevaluated, we won't be accepting new applications for the DBE program, and we have no goals for those either. So the program's on pause. Don't worry about that. But I do want to share that in District 11, although our goal is 25% small business utilization for our state-funded contracts and procurement, at the end of Q3 of our most recent fiscal year, we were at 86.8% small business utilization for those small businesses in District 11. So we really are passionate about small business utilization. Our fair is a huge deal. Last year we had over 600 attendees, so we're hoping to top that number again this year. We hope to see you all there. If you have any questions about the resources that were provided, there is contact information in the slides that will be sent to you in just a few minutes. And our team, the small business team in District 11, does free one-on-one meetings. And that's also linked in some presentation slides that we didn't quite get to today, but you will have access to those slides in the slide deck that we send to you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us for questions or comments or more inquiries. Most of us are going to do a one-on-one with you and be willing to sit down with you virtually or in person. So thank you all for your time this morning at our Prepare for the Fair. We appreciate you, and we hope to see you next week at the actual Procurement and Resource Fair. Take care.